Happy Sunday, you guys. It is Masters Sunday. Welcome on into Let's Bet It. Did you like that intro? Lauren Javara, here's Mark Zeno, Alex Glaze. Did you guys like that? I felt like that was pretty creative.
Yes, it was just got us all in the mood here for the final round of the Masters.
Lot happened yesterday. I just feel like in general, there's a lot going on today right now. We got the last day of the NBA season, the final round of the Masters tournament. We got basically like the last day of some of these series, the first series of the year for baseball. We have some NHL Ice Picks. So much going on today. Zeno, I'm going to start with you before we do our Masters recap to start off the show. Just watching the Masters over the last few days, what stands out to you and what kind of maybe surprised you that you weren't necessarily expecting?
That I still haven't actually been to Augusta in my nearly 8 years in Georgia, so that stands out to me. I have to remind myself of that every year. But I think what the elements, the weather really has been the sort of underlying story here for a lot of these guys, particularly in round three. But even if you go back to round two, it was one of those deals where the winds came out in the afternoon, and the guys in the morning sort of had a more favorable run at the course, and so you have these low 50s temperatures yesterday. As you saw, Scott Scheffler continually taking on his vest and putting it off in between shots just to try to stay warm. I mean, I think you'll get today is supposed to be much more seasonal, right? We're going to get into the low 70s here in the Atlanta area today, so I think hopefully the winds will die down. But when those guys tee off around 250 today, Cam Smith and Scott Scheffler, they should be looking at ideal conditions going forward.
Yeah, speaking of Scheffler, Alex, I want to ask you, because obviously he made 3 bogeys in the last 5 holes. He's now just 3 strokes ahead of Cam Smith. Was the vest the issue?
I think that he's looking at that leaderboard, and I think that he sees Cam Smith creeping up that thing. Listen, three shots. I mean, this thing could change in 2 holes today, right? Like Scotty Scheffler's not running away with this thing. It's gonna be an exciting Sunday. Maybe a little bit of a choke job yesterday, some would say. Zeno would. I mean, listen. It felt a little choky to me yesterday, but that's just how I saw it. But
I don't know if you call it choky. I mean, look, yes, he had a 7-stroke lead at one point yesterday, right? But that's the Masters, man. It's hard to hold those kind of leads on a routine basis.
Yeah, you look at Phil Mickelson and what he's done over his entire career. Every time that he has a lead at the end, I don't know if it's choky, but it's just hard to hold the lead on the PGA Tour in general. It's not even just the Masters.
I'm going to say this as somebody who would have gone into the trees just like Scotty did on that 18 tee box, but you can't tell me that Scotty going into the trees on that 18 tee box wasn't a little bit of nerves, right?
No, but see, I would argue that maybe it is, but the shot that he put after the drop? I mean, he played it with no fear.
I mean, yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, that was I don't give a rip kind of shot. I'm just going for it. And he continues to play this tournament with no fear, and I think it's helping him.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Does he play that way today? Because I can tell you Cam Smith is going to be playing that way today because he's got nothing to lose. So it's going to be interesting to see how Scheffler plays this, if he plays it free or if he gets a little tight like we saw at times yesterday.
Lots to get into today. We're going to do a little bit more Masters recap. We have the NBA Morning Radar, final day of the regular season. Bettor Up. It's our new MLB segment, which I kind of like. It's like batter up, better up. Good play on words that we got going on Let's Bet It. We have NHL Ice Picks, and then our Pickswise 3-star play of the day and our best bets of the day. I'm in a hotel room, and did you just see that wind?
Yeah, I was wondering, you got a little like Beyonce fan going? Like,
oh my gosh.
What is it?
It's like literally blowing straight at me. Anyways, okay, let's talk a little bit more
You're
about
lying. You have a fan there blowing your hair.
You set that up.
I mean, you did.
I
you
did
set up your Masters intro. I know that there was a fan there just blowing you.
Unplanned, absolutely unplanned. It's actually kind of funny though, but we'll work with it. You mentioned Cam Smith. Obviously, he had a low round of the day, 4 under. He shot a 68. No one has better or more stringy hair than Cam Smith, but I kind of want to be friends with him, Zeno. Don't you? Like, I feel like he's the guy right now on the PGA Tour that I want to have a beer with.
No, mullets scare me. That is a conscious decision that I can't ever understand. I don't know how you look in the mirror and go, this looks good. I'm just one of those people, when I leave the house, I just do a quick check and I'm like, do I look like a presentable human being? And a mullet always says, no, I don't look presentable. And I don't want to hang out with people's mullets.
Or mullet says, hey, I'm fun. I'm ready to party. but I also got some business to take care of at
Hold
the
on, hold
same
on.
time.
You're taking a beer with Cam Smith over a beer with our guy, Brooks Koepka? I mean, Brooks is the guy I
Seriously.
want to have a beer with.
Seriously.
I mean, I'm
I,
taking
I,
him
I
with
want
Brooks.
to. I want to. If I could trade days in the life with one golfer, it's Brooke Koepka.
Kepska?
Brooks Koepka. You got me so verklempt about Brooksy. He's my boy.
And then also Tiger Woods having his worst ever round at Augusta National. He's now out of contention.
No, we're not
Is
doing
this
this, We're not.
No, we are doing it. No, we
We're
are
not
doing it.
doing
We're
this.
doing
No,
it.
we are doing it. Let's do it because that is my golf play of the day. Bubba Watson over Tiger Woods because
Oh, yeah. Okay, fine.
there was somebody who on Wednesday on their Twitter account said all those people who are betting on Tiger to win the Masters are setting their money on fire. And I got excoriated on Twitter for doing it. And after Tiger shot 71 in the first round, more people came back to tell me what an idiot I am. And I didn't respond because I knew this was coming. Tiger Woods has not played 4 rounds of competitive golf in nearly 2 years. His body is like betraying him at this point in time. He's limping out on the course. And I'm not saying this to slight Tiger. I'm not saying I don't like Tiger. I'm not saying I'm not rooting for Tiger. I'm just saying objectively, I leave my emotion at the door when it comes to making a wager. And my emotion at the door told me Tiger Woods is not ready to play 4 rounds of competitive golf. And betting on him to win this thing was a complete waste of money.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, listen, for Tiger to make the cut, though, I think that was the bet that you make, right? Tiger to make the cut. I mean, anything beyond that, I think
Yeah.
you were.
You're reaching for straws.
Yeah, you were
Is that the
reaching. You
same?
were reaching if you thought there was anything other than that there.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, totally. I agree with you. And I mean, you guys, he like crushed his ankles. Like, how do you come back from that and walk? And it's
I mean, we're
not
talking
just like
about he
it's
could
Augusta.
have had his leg amputated. Like this.
Yeah.
Is,
Yes.
I mean,
this is one of the
It's
hardest.
amazing that he's even back playing
absolutely.
in this tournament. So,
Yes.
but no, I know. And then okay, so you, Alex, have a couple bets going on today. Obviously, we just heard Zinno's with Watson over Woods. What are yours? AG?
Okay, so
Okay.
I'm on FanDuel and I'm looking at the tourney specials, tourney, whatever.
No one
Scotty
says tourney. That's like
Scheffler
saying
and-
coupon.
No,
Scotty
Tony.
Scheffler and Cam Smith
Tourney.
both to shoot 72 or better in round 4 at plus 210. Zeno, we talked about the conditions today. I think guys are going to be playing aggressive. I think that you probably 11 under is probably going to be the winning score, 11 under or better, right? So I'm thinking that, and Cam is right there. I just can see both of these guys going low today. And I know that, I kind of blew it with my play of the day yesterday with Will Zalatoris. Let me down a little bit yesterday. I mean, shout out Will, still my guy. But Scotty Scheffler and Cam Smith, I can see both of these guys going under 72 today. I think does Cam have a 74? But both of them, have been in the 60s multiple times. I can just see 72 today for both of these guys. Plus 210. I like it.
Yeah. I actually
your
might
thoughts?
tell you on that one. I really do like that bet. Zeno, how do you feel about it?
I mean, look, it's going to be a situation for Scheffler. He's going to have to do better than par. If he doesn't, I would be worried. Like if you tell Cam Smith right now that Scheffler is going to shoot par today and end up at 9 under, he's going to be doing backflips. He's like, I got a shot to win this thing. He's fired 268. So he knows, Scheffler knows he's going to have to be better than par today. If he's not, he may be gacking away a green jacket.
Yeah, totally. It's going to be really interesting to watch how things play out today. Sunday at Augusta. Should I play the song one more time just for fun?
Just make sure you put the wind in your hair.
Yeah, we need that.
It just gets us in the mood, guys. It just gets us in the mood. Honestly, though, this fan turned off. I don't know what happened. It came on for like maybe a minute, 2 minutes, and then it just turned off. I don't know what's happening. So
it turned on, or
I know.
We're in Houston. It's fine. Let's get into NBA, by the way, because the Hawks are playing the Houston Rockets tonight. But it is the final day of the regular season. We got the play-in tournament this week. The West basically locked in to what's going to happen. But the East, there are like 1,000 different scenarios that can happen of which team is finishing 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. The Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks are resting a lot of guys. Brooklyn Nets are taking on the Indiana Pacers. Atlanta's here in Houston. And then we have Charlotte. Who's Charlotte playing tonight?
Washington.
Charlotte's taking on Washington. All three of those teams are at home. Atlanta's on the road. Just so much going on right now. In terms of betting, guys, Zeno, I'm going to start with you on this. Is there value right now on the last day of the season betting some unders on player props for teams that have basically secured their playoff spots, like the Suns or the Heat, because they might give guys more rest? Even the Milwaukee Bucks said that they're not playing a lot of their starters tonight.
Yeah, there is very little value. And much like week now 18 of the regular season of the NFL, you're paying a premium on all these favorites today.
Yeah.
And I don't really advise doing it. The only favorite I want to back today is the Charlotte Hornets. And I like the Hornets today, and I'll lay the 13.5, mostly just because Washington is resting or is not playing Kyle Kuzma, Kristaps Porzingis, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. They basically have the three of us going out there today. And the three of us theoretically could
I'm not
score.
telling of Zeno.
I know, neither am I, but the three of us theoretically could score on Charlotte's defense. That's how bad they are. That said,
They don't play defense.
No, they consciously choose not to. But there's two things working here for Charlotte. One, the way they got bounced into play-in last year, I don't think they're going to be taking anybody lightly at this point in time.
Yeah.
And although the back door is open, I don't think Washington can score enough. I also like a lot the under in this game, because what will happen in this game more than anything is that when Charlotte gets up big by the fourth quarter, they're going to let their foot off the gas pedal. They know they have another game to play in 2 days. So they're going to rest some guys as much as they can once this lead gets fat enough where they know that Washington isn't going to threaten it. So, I think the back door is open on this side. From a total standpoint, it's under all the way. And I would tell you generally in all four of these games that are tipping off at 3:30, it's dog or pass is the way I'd treat it. But again, Charlotte, I think, is a little bit of a different animal. So that's the only value I see on the board today. But you're paying a premium for favorites.
Yeah, Alex, how do you feel about the slate today? 15 games, all 30 teams are going to be playing to finish out the season.
Yeah, I don't love it. Jared and I were talking yesterday on the show, and we both were on the same page. Stay away from the NBA pretty much until the playoffs or the play-in tournament at least starts, so you know what's going on. I mean, it's just so tough to judge. Like you're talking about, is there value in player unders for props? You don't know what is going to happen, because if the guys sit, guess what? And they don't play, it's a null bet. But if they play, you don't know the minute. It's just too much that I can't control and have no way of knowing what's going to happen. So I'm staying away completely. But producer Justin actually had an interesting question here, Zeno, before you popped on. And I want to throw it out there. So Hornets money line, right? Hawks money line, Cavs money line, Nets money line. I believe Justin said that was minus 135. You parlay those. Who blows that?
Cavs.
Cavs.
I mean, I take the Bucks +8 are on my card, and I wrote it up for the Pickswise website. It's Bucks +8. The Cavaliers,
even with them resting a bunch of their guys.
Yeah, they're deep enough and they focus on defense enough. I don't think they're resting Chris Middleton, Giannis, Drew Holiday. Like everybody is not resting. They'll play some. If Cleveland covers this game, I think it's a situation where they pull away in the fourth quarter, and that's always a dangerous proposition. But literally, this is like a 16-point swing. Like the Bucks should be laying 8 in this game. It's just too much of a swing for me to back Cleveland. And in reality, I mean, Cleveland, yes, if they win, they are hosting Brooklyn. Well, no, that's not even true. If they win, they need Brooklyn lost to host Brooklyn.
Yeah, there's so many different scenarios that can go on. Basically, what's going to happen is Brooklyn's going to beat Indiana. They have that 7th seed locked up.
Yep.
But if Cleveland loses and Atlanta wins, Atlanta's the 8th seed. If Cleveland wins, they're the 8th seed. If Atlanta wins and Cleveland wins, Cleveland's the 8th seed, Atlanta's the 9th seed, Charlotte's. There's so many different scenarios that could be happening right now with these 4 teams. It's
and
crazy.
Again, I think Cleveland knows they'd rather avoid Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Cleveland would rather avoid Brooklyn. I don't know that the Hawks are scared of them. And again, they just beat them a week ago, but that was at State Farm Arena. Having to go to Brooklyn to win that game is a probably completely different scenario for the Hawks. But nonetheless, as you said, plenty of scenarios abound other than Brooklyn knowing if they win, someone's coming to the Barclays Center and they're going to get smoked.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the sheet on our Google. Wow, words hard sometimes. I'm looking at our Google Doc, and you also like the Hawks in this spot too.
The team total. That's the only way I'd play it. They are going to score against a bad. Like I've been telling everybody all year long, you don't bet an under in a Houston game. And I'm not going to take the total here because there's too much variance that I can't eliminate. But for the Hawks not to score 120 plus in this game to me would be a conscious decision by Nate McMillan to actually like not play dudes in the second half. And I don't think that they're in a position where they can do that because
No,
again,
they want to win. They want
yeah,
to win.
they want their worst case scenario to be that they are hosting the Hornets
Agreed.
as the 9-10 game, right? Like their best case scenario somehow is that they end up getting the 7 seed. That's not likely going to happen, but I don't think they are going to chance falling into the 10 seed and having to go on the road to
Mhm.
face Charlotte in the playing game. So they know that they need to win. I'd take the team total over 124.
I like it. It's going to be really interesting to see how everything plays out today. A lot going on Sunday. Who's watching NBA versus the Masters? What are you guys watching?
I mean, the Masters. It's the Masters, right?
It's the
Like,
Masters.
You got to get
the Masters is on. Hold on, the
mode.
Masters is on the. No. Zeno, hold on. What are you stuck in like 1995? We're not switching channels anymore. We got multiple screens. We got multiple screens. The Masters is going to be on the main screen, and then on some of the side screens, we might have.
I'm sorry, Glaze, with all my children running around, that I don't have enough money for extra TVs in one room.
Oh yeah, see, no children. So
okay, so yeah, I will use the remote on my big 75-inch screen TV in my main den, and I will flip back and forth happily.
Why? Let me just sit with my humble 70-inch.
Okay,
and
yeah,
enjoy the Masters.
Fine. You want to start measuring? Let's measure, dude.
We've got into a measuring contest, so I'm going to move on with the show. We're getting into Bettor Up, which is our new MLB segment. 15 MLB games on the card tonight, and obviously it's the first series of the season. We're seeing how some teams are playing out so far. I'm going to pose this with a question before we get into some of our bets, because I'm looking, there's a lot on the card tonight for all of us. The season's just getting underway. Not much necessarily data for any of these teams. What are you looking at and for when deciding how to bet these games? And I'll go to you first.
I look for teams that are typically have been bad and are going to be bad versus good teams that we're going to take advantage of. That's one of my plays for the day. And then honestly, the one thing I've been doing is looking at the weather and trying to find those cold weather games and looking at unders and under on K props. And the first 2 games for the Brewers against the Twins, it was Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff. Both of those guys who were great strikeout pitchers last year went under their K prop total. Why? Because the game time temperature was in the 30 degrees. The cold weather affects the pitchers much more than it does the hitters. And with it being a truncated spring training as well, I would look at a lot of under K props just because starters are not going to be going 6-7 innings into a lot of these games because managers are going to be super cautious that they didn't have enough time to get ready. Yeah. So those are the kind of 2 philosophies I've headed into this season with. And I have found a Major League Baseball bet that I have fallen in love with, guys.
Really?
Yes.
Give it to us. What
are you going to tell us now, or do you want to wait?
Yeah, are you going to tease
us?
I
was going to let Lauren host the show. And
okay, yeah, I'll host the show. Alex, I'll go to you first. How do you kind of approach these games when deciding who to bet on? And we'll let Zeno's bet marinate.
I'm just going to say, hold on. I've just noticed you've been going to Zeno first a lot, so you let him just get off his whole spiel, and then I'm left with like the scrap. So Zeno says all the lovely things that everyone wants to hear, and then what is left for me to say after Zeno just says it all?
Just be smarter than me, then.
I mean, to be completely honest, as far as like data, Jared and I talked about this yesterday. People look at last year. I don't do that. People look at spring training. I mean, there's a little bit of that, but again, with the limited spring training this year, there's only but so much that you can look at. Like again, later on we're going to talk about this Braves game today, and we're going to talk about Hunter Green, and all we really have to go on Hunter Green is what he did in spring training, which is that fair? He pitched 9 innings. No, it's probably not fair, but like that's what we have to go on, or at least. But I mean, we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
It's very fair.
But I mean, 9 innings. Okay, we'll get into that later. Let's not do the show.
Glaze, I'll come to you first on this next question because obviously one of the big storylines, Aaron Judge, the Yankees don't reach an agreement right now on a contract extension before opening day. He's now planning to welcome free agency. Is this a smart move by the Yankees? Is this a smart move by Judge? Alex, I'll come to you first. How do you feel about this situation?
Well, I am pro player in every way. So it doesn't, hold on. Here's the thing though. It doesn't sound like this was Judge's decision. He wants to be in pinstripes forever. He said that, and he, when he held the press conference, he made it pretty clear that, he was pretty upset that they weren't able to come to an agreement, but welcoming free agency now. But I think this is a good thing for Aaron Judge, right? Like this is not that he had any say in it, but now just go out and perform. and earn your money.
Mhm.
That's it. I mean, it's Aaron Judge, so there's no doubt that he's going to be able to put up the numbers, right, Zeno? I'm sure that you're very pleased with.
I mean, okay, so
You have to be. How are you
the
feeling as
fan
a
in me,
Yankees fan about
the
this?
fan in me wants to take a bat upside the skull of Hal Steinbrenner.
Right.
Because you just can't let this happen, right? You flat
You
out
can't
can't.
open the door for a guy like Aaron
Um,
Judge to possibly walk.
and for the most part, like forget. Look, Hal Steinbrenner doesn't run the Yankees. He runs a
Mhm.
business, and that's how he's different than his father. His father ran the Yankees. Hal Steinbrenner is running a business, and from a business standpoint, losing one of the most marketable stars in
Yeah.
Major League Baseball is a bad business decision. Forget baseball for a second. Aaron Judge is on every commercial everywhere. He's got one of the most popular selling jerseys. It's what I bought my kids. It's the only player in the Yankees they know. And
Yes.
so, losing him from a marketing standpoint is awful. From a baseball standpoint, yes, Glaze, I agree with you. It works in Judge's favor. Go out and just
Perform.
play. Here's the
Mhm.
problem. And here's the pause for the Yankees from a baseball standpoint. Aaron Judge's bugaboo isn't his production, it's his injuries. The guy is hurt a
Yeah.
ton. And what he's betting on himself. And now as a fan, I'm like, great, good. Go bet on yourself. Go play 155 games, hit 45 home runs, drive in 120, and we'll actually, have a team that people are going to be scared of in the playoffs instead of being
Mhm.
one and done. So hopefully that's what happens from a fan standpoint. But the Yankees, I don't think they made a bad offer. I think they knew it was going to be rejected.
Yeah.
It's not a terrible offer. You just knew it was one he wasn't going to accept. When you piled the arbitration year onto it and the 17 million they got in arbitration, that was sort of like the slap in the face, right? I mean, it's kind of like one of those things where you go to buy a car and they want you to put more, like they're saying you have to put X number down up front, whereas everybody else is offering zero down,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, well, why? Like, I don't understand. You're making me not want to do this deal at all when there are other deals out there that are different than that. They should
Mhm.
have put the deal onto, should have made it a true extension if they and booted the money down the road. They didn't do it. They knew he wasn't going to accept it, and here we are.
Yeah, Justin, our producer said Judge has missed 156 games
Hmm.
since 2017. So that's what, 4 seasons? And one of them being a shortened COVID season.
Yeah, and
Um,
that was a full season of games he's missed, basically.
yeah, basically a full season of games. Yes, yes. So it's going to be interesting to see how things play out there. The 15 games on the slate tonight, Alex, I'll come to you first. Obviously, you're looking at the Braves tonight. What are you seeing there?
So here's the thing about the Braves, right? 2-1 straight up, 0-3 against the spread. I actually like this spot for the Braves to cover the run line in the full game here. I'm looking at this matchup. Obviously, we talked about Ian Anderson earlier. I like Ian Anderson a lot, but I'm looking. This is more of a fade of the Reds and who they have on the bump today. Hunter
Hmm.
Green making his MLB debut, and I've been frantically trying to find K props anywhere for Hunter Green, but I've not been able to find them. But if you do, I mean, I was looking for some unders depending on what they were and what the juice were. I was looking for the unders there. But this is a guy we were talking about. All we really have to go off of is spring training. Allowed
Yeah.
9 runs and 9 innings in spring training. Hasn't been as effective and as good as the Reds probably would have hoped.
Hmm.
And I just think this is a bad spot for him making his debut against a Braves lineup, which is one of the best lineups in baseball, that has been, I don't want to say quiet, but they haven't necessarily been hitting the way that we expect the Braves to be hitting. Is
Hmm.
that fair? Zeno? Is that fair?
That, that is
So I
fair.
think that this could be a big spot for the Braves tonight. So I like that, or today, I'd like them to cover the run line and welcome Hunter Green to the show.
I know.
All right.
Zeno, you're looking at this game too, but you have it a little bit different.
Yeah, I have it a little bit different, and it's I'm very excited about this play. I'm not even going to lie.
He
So,
came
Me
on
too.
this morning before we even
Me
started the show,
too.
and he goes, "Guys, I have this really awesome play with the Braves game."
well, I mean, look, Hunter Green. It's not that he gave up 9 runs in 9 innings in spring training. It's that he gave up 4 home runs in
Mm.
9 innings. Okay,
Mm.
which tells me this is a young pitcher who is
Hmm.
just throwing the ball in the middle of the zone, thinking he's going to overpower major league hitters. And guess what? That doesn't happen. As Glaze mentioned, this is a very accomplished Braves lineup. They hit the ball out of the ballpark. They are at home, where Ian Anderson, whose home road splits are much more favorable to
Hmm.
Truist Park. So I am taking the Braves here in the first 5 innings, -0.5 on the run line, just because this sets up for them to be out early early against a young starting pitcher. And oh, by the way, if for some reason Hunter Green pitches the game of his life in his major league debut and shuts the Braves out or keeps them down to a run and Cincinnati is scoring against Ian Anderson, I'll buy back in live in the game
Yeah.
total. Like that's the plan. If somehow Hunter Green comes out and has a great game, which I don't expect him to in his very first start, I think he at best will be good. And by that I mean quality start, maybe 6 innings, 3 runs, but that should be enough to get the Braves a lead in the first 5. So I can look to buy back in if it doesn't go my way. But this is this seems to me one of the more favorable plays on the board. And at minus 118 on the run line for minus a half in 5 innings, that juice is not bad at all.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of your Yankees, Zeno
Mhm.
and Aaron Judge, you like the over. You think a lot of runs are going to be scored in this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's more about Jordan Montgomery starting for the Yankees, an ERA in the mid fours, a guy who does give up the long ball a bunch. Tanner Houck, who's starting for the Red Sox, doesn't have a very long career to this point, although he's faced the Yankees a couple of times and been banged around, both in relief and as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in Yankee Stadium before. Both of these teams are going to break out and score. Now, the first game was a 6-5 final. Yesterday was a 4-2 game in a cold and windy day. They start this game at 7 o'clock. It's going to be warmer in New York City today. So they'll be warm when the game starts. It'll be easier for them to stay warm as the temperature drops later on into the evening. I expect these bats to come up big time against these two starters to get over 9 runs. If it was 9.5, I might walk away from it. If it says I can push at a 5-4 final and get my money back, so to speak, I can take the over tonight, 9 runs.
Yeah, I like it. I actually really do. And then the last pick that you have, you're taking it to Pittsburgh, right? It's
Yeah.
actually one of my
Okay.
favorite parks in the
PNC,
entire country.
gorgeous,
Yes,
absolutely gorgeous.
yes,
Okay.
with the
There's
whole
nothing
skyline in
gorgeous
the
about
background.
Pittsburgh. Nothing gorgeous about Pittsburgh.
Okay.
This is coming from a Ravens fan. He's
Yeah.
just conditioned to say that.
But
That said, 2 plays here in this game. One I'll give you, which is the same run line in the first 5. You're getting Bryce Wilson, former Atlanta Brave, by the way, starting for the Pittsburgh Pirates against Steven Matz. I'm going to take the St. Louis Cardinals minus a half. It's very juicy at minus 144. I don't recommend playing it. It's not going to be a big play for me because the juice is so high. But that said, the Cardinals have led through first 5 innings in both of the first 2 games. Pittsburgh's offense is bad. They don't score. St. Louis is home in front of a great baseball crowd, trying to get a sweep here. They should easily jump out to a lead against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And here is my new favorite Major League Baseball bet. It hit for my play of the day on Friday when I was on Let's Bet It. It is the over a half in the first inning. Much
okay.
similar handicap to what we do in the first period of the NHL games. This will become systemic, right? There will be teams that score runs in the first inning more often than others, and there will be teams that allow runs in the first inning more often than others. You can play the percentages and play the odds in this spot and look at starters and try to find high leverage situations.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what's happening here. St. Louis has scored a run in each of the first inning in the first 2 games. In fact, Pittsburgh scored a run also in the first inning of game 2 of this series. So at minus 120, over a half in the first inning, one of these 2 teams to score a run. Gotta love it, Lauren.
I do like it. I actually think I might
Yes,
tail you
run
on that one.
first inning. I like that.
There's
I
no
wouldn't have
half
even
run, right?
thought to bet
There's
that.
this
That's kind of
weird
cool.
there's this weird perception that runs aren't scored in the first inning, and it's actually false. There are more runs scored in the first inning and in the 9th inning than there are in the 7 innings in between.
Really?
So yeah, so there was a weird perception that runs aren't scored in the first. There always are.
Yeah, I actually like that. I might tail you, and I'm going to start looking at those stats throughout the season. It is a good thing to look out for. I'm taking it to Chicago. I like the Brewers taking on the Cubs tonight. I have the Cubs money
What
line
accent
actually
was
plus
that?
114. What?
What accent was that?
Chicago. I don't know. Isn't that like from something? Is it not?
I don't
No.
know.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll say it anyways. I like the Chicago Cubs money line at plus 114. The Brewers looking for their first win of the season. The Cubs are looking to complete the series sweep. They're currently at 2-0, and the Brewers have been outscored so far in the series 14-4. Excuse me. Throughout the first 2 games, they had a shutout loss on Saturday. The Brewers have not had an 0-3 start since 2017. Now, the Cubs, I think, have been surprising some people so far with their 2-0 start. Their offense has been absolutely red hot. Pitching was great yesterday, and they look for their first 3-0 start since 2016. Now, I know, Alex, you said you don't necessarily look at all the stats from last season. I like to look at it at least from like the end of the season, just to kind of see like trends, et cetera, because a lot of these teams didn't necessarily make a ton of moves. The Cubs obviously got rid of some players, but Anyways, you look at the Brewers, they're 1-10 in their last 11 road games, 1-5 during game 3 of a series. And the Cubs are, I know they're only 9-24 in their last 33 home games, but the Brewers are better than what they've shown so far up to this point, and pitching is most likely going to improve. But the Cubs are just playing with like a little extra oomph, right now. A little extra oomph right now, and they're playing at their home park, which is going to bring a little bit more energy. It's also the season debut of Stroman, and he has swagger. I like Stroman, I really do. Last season he was 10-13, 3.02 ERA, 158 strikeouts. And I just think he thrives on like a bigger stage under the bright lights. So I think there's good value today in Cubs plus money on the money line. So I like the Cubs money line plus 114. And the other game I'm looking at is the Mariners taking on the Twins. And I know we talked a few days ago about just the Mariners and how kind of they can be a surprise this season and kind of make a run, like give teams a run for their money because, and I think they'll do it quietly. But so far they've won their first 2 games against the Twins. And I know the Twins like aren't great, but the Mariners money line at plus 122, I really like it. They won their first 2 games by 1 run so far. Marco Gonzalez starting for Seattle on Sunday. He's a 10-6 record, 3.96 ERA from last season. The Twins have been struggling on offense so far throughout the first couple games. They've had 4 hits and a single RBI in the home opener. Bailey Ober is going to be starting for the Twins. He has a 3-3 record last season, but a bad 4.19 ERA. Seattle, 12-3 in their last 15 overall games, 4-1 in game 3 of a series. They're 20-6 in their last 26 road games. Now the Twins are 1-5 in their last 6 in game 3 of a series. But I'm sticking with Seattle in this one. They didn't light things up on Friday, but they did get some good pitching. Saturday, they had a comeback and they were able to win by one run. But I just think the Mariners are going to be able to keep it going. They're going to get the series sweep, pull up 3-0 start in their opener series. I just really, really like them in the spot, and I like getting them at plus money too, plus 122. So I have the Cubs money line at plus 114, Mariners money line at plus 122. Give me the underdogs today, boys.
Can I throw out 2 K props for you guys real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
And I will get to the Brewers. And again, I don't advise this. I'm going to wait and see. But Freddie Peralta for the Brewers, both their starting pitchers for the Brewers, who had one of the best staffs in baseball last year, went under in their first 2 games. But as I mentioned, there's a 30-degree temperature at both those game times. Supposed to be about 55 today in Chicago, much more seasonal. Freddie Peralta over Chicago over 5.5. The problem is it's juiced at minus 140. I don't recommend doing it. Shop around, see what you can get. But I think that the Brewers pitching staff will get back to normal a little bit today, and you'll get Peralta over 5.5. And then Corey Kluber over 5.5 strikeouts against the Baltimore Orioles. It's only minus 110. Orioles not a great lineup. Kluber at home in the Dome or St. Petersburg, whatever the heck that dump is that they play in. But weather won't be an issue. He'll have plenty of time to get loose and get warm. But again, this is more of a fate on the Orioles lineup not being able to hit Kluber. But Kluber at minus 110 over 5.5 as well.
Okay. I like the strikeout props. That's good. We're getting into baseball, guys. First weekend of baseball. You love to see it. Okay, let's take it to the ice for a second. Only a few weeks left in the NHL season. 7 games on the card tonight. Zeno, I'll go with you first because Alex, do you have any plays on the ice tonight?
The Preds hurt me yesterday. I'm not gonna lie.
Taking a break.
The Preds hurt me.
It's okay.
So I need to humble myself, take a step back from the ice. It happens. It happens. I was really feeling this was a great spot for the Preds yesterday. I should have known, going against our Ice Cats, because one thing about our Ice Cats, they're a resilient bunch.
Ice Cats are resilient. Meow.
I don't back to back doesn't matter. Nights and goal, it doesn't matter. But I went with the Preds and
okay. It's okay. Zeno, I got you covered. Zeno, who do you got for tonight?
Well, got to go back to my well of first period overs and unders and take 2 first period unders.
What's new?
Listen, if it works, why go away from
it?
Carolina and Anaheim. Carolina is the lowest first period over team in the league. They have more first period unders than anybody in the NHL. They're home against Anaheim, who's also 5th in the league in first period unders. So that's an easy one for me. And then Chicago and Dallas, they are both 4th and 6th respectively in first period unders this year. So Chicago and Dallas under 1.5 in the first period.
I like it. And then the other play you have is Carolina taking on Anaheim.
Yeah, at under 1.5 in the first period.
Oh, sorry, under 1.5.
Carolina, yeah, the lowest first period over team, highest first period under team. Sorry, as my hamster fell off the wheel there. But yeah, so they
Hey,
always,
sometimes I short circuit too. It's
I know
totally
it happens.
I'm taking it to the Bruins, who are taking on the Caps tonight. And yeah, the Bruins, they let me down the other night, but you know what? I'm going back to it. I
Yeah.
like the Bruins money line, three-way money line in this spot at plus 125. They've been one of the hottest teams in the NHL since mid-February. I know they're currently dealing with two big injuries to Hampus Lindholm and David Pastrnak, but at the same time, they have enough firepower to get things going. Now, the Caps right now are in the second wild card spot. Goaltending has been what's been an issue for the Washington Capitals. They're coming off of a 6-3 win though on Saturday in Pittsburgh, but the Caps don't necessarily have a lot to play for right now. They're assured basically of that second wild card spot in the East. They're not going to move up to the first wild card spot. They're kind of locked in there. And this game is basically a pick 'em right now. So the Caps are in the second half of a back-to-back. Yeah, I said they played in Pittsburgh last night. They won 6-3. The Bruins, for me, are not only the better team in the standings, but if you look at their numbers, they're just an all-out better team numbers wise. They're more rested because their last game was on Friday. They practiced yesterday in Washington, and they have a hot goaltender right now in Linus Allmark. He's riding his 6-game personal win streak. He's 2-0-0 against Washington this season. And Boston is first in the league defensively with a 2.02 expected goals against average. Great, great, great defense. So with a solid goaltender in between the pipes, great defense, I think, and then tired legs for the Caps, I just don't think that they're going to be able to find the back of the net as much as they normally do. The Bruins also want to move up to the second spot right now in the Atlantic over Toronto. So they have a little bit more to play for. I know that they're dealing with injuries, but I feel like they can pull this one out. So I like their three-way money line. I like getting it at plus money at plus 125. So lock that in for me on the ice. 7 games on the card tonight. There's so much going on today on this Sunday. This is a day where you sit on the couch and you just don't leave. And if you're Alex, you're watching on your multiple screens. If you're Zeno, you're watching on your 96-inch screen with your remote, with your thumb constantly like this.
Flipping the channels is such like I mean, I can't imagine flipping channels.
It's
Like,
a boomer move, obviously. Boomer.
Imagine flipping channels.
I'm boomer. I'm boomer.
Just get another
sometimes
screen.
You got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. But at least he's watching them all. You love to see it. So I usually have like my iPad going, the TV going, my phone going. Like I have it all going, but it's fine. I don't have multiple screens though, Alex. I only have one TV. But
You're in a hotel room. So we're not.
But does like an iPad or laptop count as a second screen?
Absolutely. Like here's the thing. Like
okay, well then.
With YouTube
yeah, Zeno,
TV,
see.
I guess I have a second screen then, Glaze.
With YouTube TV, I can have 6 devices going at once. I mean, it's great.
That's true. That's true.
Free plug for YouTube TV, I guess.
Okay, let's get into our Pickswise 3-star play of the day before we get into our best bets. Glaze, I'll come to you on this one. How about that? Go to Pickswise.com. Who do we got for a 3-star play of the day?
Yeah, we got a couple 3-star plays on the site right now. I'll give one out by our guy Tyler Mortimer. He's on the Dallas Stars to win tonight against the Blackhawks. And you'll have to head over to the website and check out why. We got, let me see, 2, 4, 6 plays, 6 3-star plays up on the site right now. So a lot of good things going on at Pickswise.com.
My boy Philip Tomich never afraid of a 3-star play. He has not met a 3-star play he doesn't like.
Really?
Oh,
I was gonna wait. Yeah, hold on. 3 of the 6 are him.
Guy hammers him. He just loves it. Me, I'm the biggest wuss when it comes to 3-star.
That's what we were talking about. You go, oh, I still haven't put out a 3-star play because I'm all stressed out about it.
I get all verklempt.
Don't whiff on a 3-star play.
That's my point. That's my point.
Don't
like
let me see you put out a 3-star play and it doesn't hit. Because I'm gonna watch that one.
Well, I have. I've just done it very sparingly, and I don't do it when I come on the show. If I know I'm going to be on the show that day, I'm not putting out a 3-star play.
Because you got your best bet of the day on the show. You love to see it. You really do.
No.
Okay, let's get into our best bets of the day. Then I'll come to you first. You like the run line in Seattle. Or St. Louis, sorry.
Yeah, St. Louis and Pittsburgh in the first 5. St. Louis -0.5 on the run line. It is juicy at -144. It's the second juice I'm paying today with Bubba Watson -145 over Tiger. But nonetheless, this is Steven Matz going up against Bryce Wilson. Bryce Wilson is not a great strikeout pitcher, gives up the long ball. St. Louis has scored a bunch on Pittsburgh in their first 2 games of this series, beating them handily at home, going for the sweep. I just think St. Louis gets out to an early lead here. They've scored a run in the first inning in both of these games, and they'll be able to hold it through 5 innings. All I got to do is get a 1-run lead by the 5th inning here. St. Louis Cardinals -0.5 first 5 over the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And Alex, you're taking a little page out of Zeno's book with the first 5 innings for the Braves game, huh?
All right, so here's the thing. Like, I don't want to paint it like I'm taking a page out of Zeno's book.
Oh boy, no,
We've
because you
watched
just don't want to give me
enough
credit
Braves
for
games
anything.
to
I just
know
like
how this
I
goes.
just like grinding Alex's gears sometimes.
Here's
I know,
the
isn't it
thing.
fun?
Like, here's the thing. Look, all right. I'm gonna get into the play, and then we can talk about the live. So, yes, Braves first 5 is my play for the day today. This is a fade on Hunter Green making his MLB debut. Tough spot for him. Going against one of the best lineups in baseball. He struggled in spring training, gave up 9 runs, as Zeno mentioned, 4 home runs in 9 innings during that time in spring training. And this is not the lineup that you want to struggle against, especially when you look at the Braves yesterday, only getting 2 runs. So I think that the bats could wake up a little bit against Hunter Green today. I'm just going to get in, get out. Braves run line in the first 5. Play the day.
We're all taking it to the. Oh, sorry.
But
keep
hold
going.
on. Let me add to that, because we've also watched enough Braves games to know how this goes. You don't need to just bet the full thing. They are great first 5. There was a time, 2 years ago, where the Mike Soroka first 5 unders were, yeah, they were just perfect. So
yeah,
Braves first 5.
We're all taking to the ballpark today. Get me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if they ever come back, because it's root for the home team for me, for the Chicago Cubs. Cubs money line at +114. I talked about it a little bit earlier. The Brewers are looking for their first win of the season. The Cubs right now are looking to complete the series sweep. They're 2-0, which I don't think is anything that anyone expected so far for this first series. The Brewers have been outscored 14-4 through the first 2 games of this. They had a shutout loss on Saturday, and they haven't had an 0-3 start since 2016. Well, the Cubs haven't had a 3-0 start since 2016. And they've been surprising people with their 2-0 start. Their offense has been really, really good. They got great pitching yesterday. Now, I just think that the Cubs are playing with a little extra energy, a little extra umph. I don't know if it's because they're excited for the first series of the season, if it's because they're playing at home at Wrigley, but something about them right now is just working. And they're playing at their home park, brings a little more energy. Stroman's debuting tonight, his season debut. He has swagger. Last season, he went 10-13, 3.02 ERA, 158 strikeouts. He thrives under the bright lights, the bigger stages. I just think there's good value here in the Cubs at plus money. So Cubs money line, +114. We're all taking it to the ballpark today, guys. Last question for me. When you're eating a ballpark Frank, what do you put on it?
Sauerkraut mustard. Done.
What? What's wrong with
Where do you get sauerkraut at a baseball park?
In New York, they do it all the time.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. New York's fancy. Alex, what do you put on yours?
Keep it simple. Ketchup, mustard. That's it. That's all you need. Ketchup and mustard.
I'm just ketchup. I know that's psycho. Like, people are like, oh, that's like a red flag. Because I feel like mustard.
Just ketchup? No. Just mustard is the red flag. Just mustard.
No, just mustard is like the normal
mustard is the norm.
That
is the norm.
Just mustard is like the normal thing.
Yes. Just mustard is the normal thing?
Dijon mustard, golden spicy mustard on a hot dog is the norm.
Just mustard?
That's what's considered normal. It is. It's weird.
I'm with you, Lauren. I'm more likely to put just ketchup. I'm never putting just mustard.
Wait a minute. You guys, your ballparks you go to don't have sauerkraut?
Well, listen,
I don't ask.
I'm going to Camden Yards tomorrow, so I'm gonna have some crab dip or some crab.
What do you mean you don't ask? Like, sauerkraut and mustard is the sweet spot for a hot dog.
I like sauerkraut.
And oh, by the way, hot dog's not a sandwich, so don't tell me it is.
Meat between two pieces of bread. So
no,
yes,
not a sandwich. Never will be a sandwich. Never.
Here's what sauerkraut is. One, disgusting.
I've never heard
how do you live with yourself after you eat the sauerkraut? And like your breath is disgusting.
You're eating a hot dog. Your breath's gonna be disgusting regardless. It's pig lips and.
Okay. On that note, we are ending the show. That is it for us today.
My breath is pristine at all times. That's all. At all times.
Find us on the Pickswise YouTube channel. Go to Pickswise.com. Follow us on Twitter. Have so much fun watching.
Hold on, someone in the chat said mustard and diced onions. What is wrong with people?
Red onions or diced onions are amazing. What? You guys don't know how to eat hot dogs.
Oh my God.
You're not from where hot dogs come from. Okay.
I will say, Zeno, I'll try sauerkraut on a hot dog. I'm not going to knock it until I try it, but there always has to be ketchup on there for me. So
that's fine. I'm just saying.
My hands that. Okay, yeah, find us on the Pickswise YouTube channel. Go to Pickswise.com. Follow us on Twitter. I'm all flustered now because I'm just thinking about hot dogs and I'm actually starving.
Me
Maybe I'm
too.
gonna go get one right now.
I got one
Yeah,
yesterday. It was good.
best of luck. Everyone enjoy watching all the sports going on today. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Happy Sunday.